The St. Louis Blues give multiple surprising updates on multiple players as we get a major update on Philip Broberg's health and when he may return to the lineup. But not only that, a shocking new development with Robert Thomas that no one saw coming and completely changes what this team is going to do down the stretch this season. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Blues Digest. And Mark, let's get right into it. There's a lot to get to today, and we got multiple updates on multiple players. And I guess we'll start with Philip Broberg because obviously he was the first one we saw get injured last week. He went down with, obviously sustaining a big check from Mark Stone. And we finally have an update and that he is on the ice and he's looking better and he could make a return a lot sooner than everybody realized.
And I mean, seeing Broberg back on the ice, that's awesome to see. We've seen him pulled. They were looking at possible concussions and everything in between. But Darius, the big thing with Philip Broberg, the best defender on this team, and it has been close. Yes, the points aren't as good as Justin Falk, but there's a reason why he got this extension. Thank you once again to the Edmonton Oilers for gifting us a #1 defenseman. But looking at Philip Broberg, I kind of want to throw it back to you. We've seen that Jim Montgomery said that he looks real good. He looks like the player he's been all year. They spoke on the hurdle that he has to go through, but there's a chance he could be a player tomorrow night. We won't know until tomorrow. Now, Darius, looking at this, would this be a situation where you'd want to get him right back in, or are you fine with Broberg maybe taking an extra game or two off just to make sure he is over 100% ready?
But before we get too far into the video today, guys, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. And when you download Kalshi, using the link in the description and using promo code DIGESTNHL, you get $20 when you trade your first $100. And whether you're in California, Texas, New York, or right here in St. Louis, Missouri, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. And Kalshi is the US's largest prediction market where you can trade yes or no on real life events, including sporting events, elections, music, or even the weather at this point.
And you can go in right now, trade on the Buffalo Bills winning their next playoff games at a 52% chance. This is an awesome trade. You can go and put $10, win 19 on this. And even if you use the code and you put the $100 and you could use the extra 20 to go right now and trade on the St. Louis Blues, maybe making the playoffs, but we could see the percentages coming through as well. This is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, or you could trade no on them not making the playoffs because that's what I think is going to happen. But Mark, it's just a better way to utilize your sports and news knowledge, and you can close positions at any time. So go down below, download the Kalshi app using the link in the description and using promo code DIGESTNHL. And thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. I mean, taking an extra game at this point wouldn't hurt the team that much more. It's not like you're actively in the playoff race or trying to secure a position in the playoffs or hang on to it, I should say. So, I mean, if they want to give him an extra game, that's fine. But if he's ready to go and he's past concussion protocol, get this guy back into games, right? He's the best defender, like you said, on this team, offensively, defensively, whatever it is this season. He's been the best. He's been eating the most minutes as well. He's played in different situations. I mean, if he's ready to go, he's feeling good. He's passed all the tests, get him back in there. But if there's, if they're rushing him back or something like that, let's not do that. But Jim Montgomery in his famous talk, I guess, however he likes to speak, said that he should be a player and that he will be returning to the lineup tomorrow. So good news. They need him back in the lineup. Obviously, yes, we know that the season's probably lost and they're going to make some moves, but it doesn't mean that you don't want your best players in the lineup still, progressing and continuing their development. Because at the end of the day, he's still a young defenseman in this league. So excited to see him get back into the lineup. And I think he's going to. If he's passed all the tests and he's feeling fine, get him back in the lineup, which is good because it looked devastating at the time. And it was the same day when he sustained that injury that he signed his contract, which was just horrific. So glad to see him feeling good again.
And listen, we want to see a player be a player as a player for this team. But at the end of the day, I mean, looking at this, seeing that he looks like he has been all year's awesome steps to see, and just getting these guys back from injury is going to be huge. Even if the Blues aren't winning games, we want to watch the best product. We want to watch all these players. Philip Broberg becoming a fan favorite is always awesome to see on that blue line. He's going to go right back in that top pair, and let's be honest here. But going further into this, we got more updates surrounding the team. Now, we did talk about lines. There's so much happening, but it goes into the Blues announcing that Robert Thomas has been placed on IR with a lower body injury. He will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Now, Darius, this doesn't feel like a situation where fans are going to say, hey, where did this come from? We've seen the maintenance days. It felt like every single day leading up to now that Robert Thomas was not on practices because of a maintenance of what I guess is this upper body or lower body injury. At the end of the day, losing Robert Thomas is going to hurt your leading scorer on the team by almost 10 points. We can see Booch just behind him, which props to him for getting up to second place, but losing Robert Thomas does throw a wrench into things. I mean, looking at the injuries on the team, of course, Philip Broberg's coming back very soon. Joseph, Pius Suter, Dylan Holloway, Robert Thomas, the list goes on. What is your thoughts on him being out for a minimum of 2 weeks before he's reevaluated?
Yeah, I don't know if there's been a lot of teams have sustained injuries over the course of this season. It's a condensed schedule, but I don't think any team's gotten it worse than the Blues at this point in terms of just it's like a routine. Every 2 days, somebody's out. Okay, this guy's back. Now he's out again. Now this other guy's hurt. And Robert Thomas again. He's been clearly to me dealing with something all season because he missed time earlier as well. So I think he was managing something. We've seen the maintenance days, like you mentioned. He took another maintenance day yesterday. We were like, hey, that's fine. Whatever he's taking a maintenance day, it's a long season. Whatever, he should be fine and in the lineup. Not the case. He's going to miss a little bit of time here, significant amount of time. And I think this really changes things for the Blues too, because this might push back their trade plans a little bit so they don't, deplete their roster completely. So this could push it back to, after the Olympics when I imagine most guys will be healthy coming out of that because of all the time off. So again, I think that it's tough. It's been a bad break for the Blues all season on the injury front, and now being without Robert Thomas, I mean, other guys got to step up. I'm looking at Dvorsky, I'm looking at Stenberg, I'm looking at everybody. Like Kyrou's got to get going here to produce some points, so you don't completely sink to the bottom of the standings, not just in the West but in the entire league. So other guys need to start stepping up. And again, like with this current picture painted the way it is, if you trade Shen, Dvorsky is your first line center without Robert Thomas. So I don't know if a trade is happening, if it's imminent at this point. Like something's going to happen before the trade deadline, but in terms of like a couple days from now, maybe a week or two, I'm not so sure. So I'm sure they'll get him back before that day, comes. But this is a tough blow for the team because now you have other guys like Shen, who's been terrible defensively this year, and his plus minus, speaks for itself, has to take on a lot of that workload defending against and matching up against other teams' best opponents. Same with Dvorsky. So a lot of guys got to step up in this absence, and I think this really changes things for the Blues.
And I mean, the big thing is, I feel like at this point, we haven't seen a completely healthy roster this entire season. But looking at the lines, like you said, Dvorsky going to the second line center, we've seen flashes from him, and it's going to be interesting to see how him and Shen hold it down for the next little bit. I mean, once again, looking at this, you're going to have multiple centers out of the lineup. Pius Suter is still out for an extended period of time. We know we got Nick Bjugstad back, but it's going to be interesting on how these guys step up. The young guys are getting more minutes. Otto Stenberg right up to the top line. Of course, Broberg should slide straight back in if he jumps that last hurdle that he needs to. But fans, what is your thoughts on all this news? What is your thoughts on Philip Broberg? How many points does he finish this season with? Because he's having a great year. The point totals might not be there, but listen, the Blues are not scoring a lot of goals. What is your thoughts on Robert Thomas? Do you think this is a situation where the coaching staff and management looks and says, hey, we're at the bottom of the standings. We're going to turn on Team Tank. Let him sit as long as he needs to. We want this guy healthy. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments. And speaking of comments, let's go into comment of the day. Huge mistake if they trade Thomas. And we did a full video on this as well. And we completely agree. Moving Robert Thomas is a serious risk that this organization should not even entertain, even though there's a lot of teams calling. But go ahead and leave your thoughts on everything down in the comments, and you could be featured on comment of the day. That'd be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, Blues fans, and we'll catch you in the next one.